many visitors from all over the world to the city of Westminster. These visitors will surely spend money in local restaurants, shops, and hotels. Putting the monument in a nice public park will attract many visitors, but not in a cemetery. Number 3, the historical significance of the Quang Tri Monument. Many here have totally misunderstood the meaning of this monument. It is a victory monument for both South Vietnam and the United States. In 1972, we were winning the war in Vietnam. South Vietnam had just defeated a major communist invasion, and Americans were happy to return home with peace and honor. It was a rare time in a war that made a lot of sense. For those veterans who believed that the war was justified to help defend and build South Vietnam, this monument will restore their honor. No more will they think that the war was unwinnable. No more will we let the communists destroy our history. So please kindly cast your vote and remember that your name and what you do tonight will affect generations to come in our community. Thank you.
The next speaker is Hillary Wong, followed by Robert Harrison.
Chào ông thị trưởng, ông phó thị trưởng và tất cả nghị viên thành phố Westminster và tất cả nhân viên làm việc ở đây rất là vui để gặp lại quý vị. Quý vị có khỏe không ạ?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the entire City Council, and everyone here today. A while. How are you?
Xin cảm ơn quý vị. Thưa quý vị, hôm nay lại gặp quý vị một lần nữa rất là vui. Mình gặp quý vị, không biết quý vị có vui khi gặp cái mặt của tôi không? Nhưng mà vui hay không vui thì bữa nay mình cũng đến đây được nói chuyện với quý vị. Tôi rất là nhớ quý vị đó.
I'm happy to see you all tonight. I know that you are happy to see my face here, whatever the case is. I'm glad that I'm here to address you.
Dạ, cảm ơn. Bây giờ tôi xin vô thành cái đề là hôm nay tôi đến đây để tôi có nói về tượng đài cổ thần Quảng Trị.
I'll go straight to the point. I'm here tonight to talk about the Quang Tri Monument.
Như quý vị đã hiểu qua về lịch sử là một trận chiến mà quân dân Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, đồng bào tỉnh Quảng Trị và lực lượng Hoa Kỳ đã yểm trợ phi pháo, hải pháo tích cực và mạnh mẽ để chúng ta tái chiếm cổ thành Quảng Trị năm 1972.
As you have already known, the battle to retake the Quang Tri citadel is a historical battle that the people of Quang Tri, the soldiers of the South region, of the Republic of Vietnam, as well as U.S. forces with their artillery support, naval artillery, so that we could retake that handsome citadel in 1972.
Thưa quý vị, họ đã chiến đấu rất anh dũng và hy sinh khốc liệt nhất trong cuộc chiến Việt Nam thời bấy giờ. Và việc xây dựng một tượng đài để vinh danh và tri ân những người đã hy sinh là điều rất xứng đáng và chúng ta nên làm.
They have fought valiantly and made uncounted sacrifice to protect the city, and so because of that, we should have a monument to honor and to express our gratitude to those who have made the sacrifice. This is something that we need, and we should do.
Như là truyền thống về văn hóa của nền văn hóa dân tộc Việt Nam thì cái tượng đài vừa đẹp, vừa có ý nghĩa, vừa lịch sử thì không thể nào để trong một trong một cái công viên nghĩa trang, và hay là để sát cái bên cạnh công viên nghĩa trang được.
So if we talk about Vietnamese culture and tradition, when we have a memorial as beautiful as this memorial, as meaningful, it should not be placed at a cemetery or next to a cemetery like Westminster or Park.
Tôi mong rằng quý vị nhận định và thấu hiểu sâu xa hơn để có một quyết định tốt nhất cho một nơi thích hợp để đặt tượng đài tái kiến của thành Quảng Trị.
I sincerely hope that you recognize this so that you can come to a good decision to have the placement of the country monument at appropriate at a place that is appropriate for the monument.
Thưa quý vị, cũng như là từ cái gì đẹp đó, thì chúng ta show ra, cũng như tất cả quý vị ở đây người nào cũng vừa đẹp trai quý vị show cho chúng tôi thấy quý vị rất là thông minh, quý vị làm việc cho cái cư dân thành phố Westminster này. Rất là cảm ơn quý vị một lần nữa, là tôi rất là nói tiếng cảm ơn quý vị, luôn luôn là tôi nhớ ơn quý vị.
So if we have something good, something that's nice, we want to showcase it. Just like you, lady and gentlemen on the council here, you're good-looking gentlemen and good-looking women. You want to showcase that. I always want to. I always support you, and I want to thank you for serving the people of the city of Westminster.
Thưa quý vị, còn phần thứ hai đó là quý vị có biết không? Tới giờ phút này tôi vẫn đi làm, tôi vẫn đóng thuế cho chính phủ đã gần 40 năm. Tôi là cư dân của thành phố Westminster. Tôi rất là vui để mà tôi góp một bàn tay về thuế má. Quý vị có biết không? Tôi đi làm về, tôi bóc phone, tôi gọi, tôi nhắn bạn bè tôi làm ơn ủng hộ việc duy trì 1 cent thuế để là chúng ta không phải mất cái lực lượng cảnh sát, không phải mất cái lực lượng sở cứu hỏa của thành phố. Những người đó là họ đã giúp cho chúng ta được an toàn sống ở trong cái thành phố này. Tôi gọi phone, quý vị biết tôi gọi rồi tôi đếm thử là biết bao nhiêu người không? Ít xìu có gần khoảng 200 người thôi, mà tiền phone đó thì tôi phải trả. Quý vị thấy tôi cố gắng để mà tôi ủng hộ cái thành phố của mình không có bị không có bị mất cái cảnh sát và sở cứu hỏa.
The second thing is, you know what? I am still working as of now. I've been working for more than 40 years to pay tax, and I also support the extension of the 1 cent sales tax so that the city can have revenue, can keep all the service, maintain all the service. And you know what? I work, and I come home, and I call all my friends to ask them to support the 1 cent sales tax extension. I called on more than 200 people, and that's why I paid off for the phone bill. But I supported that because that will give the city the revenue necessary to maintain all the services, to maintain our police forces as well as firefighters to keep our city safe.
Thưa quý vị, tôi rất là cảm ơn một lần nữa. Tôi mong rằng ngày hôm nay quý vị nghe và quý vị sẽ cho một cái kết quả là chúng tôi sẽ được một cái chỗ mà để cái tượng đài cổ thần Quảng Trị. Và một lần nữa phải nói rất là nhiều lần, và tôi rất là cảm ơn quý vị. Tôi cảm ơn rất là nhiều. Mong rằng ngày hôm nay chúng tôi không muốn làm phiền mất nhiều thời giờ của quý vị đâu, nhưng mà chúng tôi mong rằng hai quý vị sẽ cho một cái kết quả, cho nó có một cái chỗ để cho chúng tôi biết rằng chúng tôi sẽ có một cái chỗ để cho tượng đài ngồi, để cho người ta chiêm ngưỡng, người ta ủng hộ. Nhưng mà quý vị nhớ thì cái tượng đài rất là đẹp, thành ra quý vị, tôi nghĩ rằng quý vị không có thể cho một cái chỗ nào nó không xứng đáng. Thì mong rằng quý vị hiểu và quý vị cho một cái kết quả. Một lần nữa thì chúc tất cả quý vị mà thị trưởng, phó thị trưởng và những người nghị viên ở đây được dồi dào sức khỏe và những gì quý vị ước mong cái kỳ bầu cử này, tôi mong rằng quý vị sẽ đạt được như ý. Xin chào quý vị.
And I hope that you would come to the right decision, put the monument at a place that it deserves. I want to wish all of you good health so that you make a good decision for the city. And I wish all of you success in the upcoming election season.
Mr. Mayor, Don, Vice Mayor Mansell, the rest of the City Council, staff, and the Westminster PD. Here we are, still deliberating over placement, the expenses to be incurred by a near bankrupt city, indecision over sales tax and census return of the Quantry Monument from San Jose. This action by the City Council caused an unnecessary lawsuit. It is rumored the City Council will further burden the city with placement being pushed off to after the elections. All the facts are in to make a decision. Do not put placement off for each of your own political careers, hoping to get a favorable decision of Freedom Park or a public park against all reasons and all of the citizens of Westminster. The Quantry Committee, expected to life of 6 to 8 weeks, was tasked with the depiction display to be historically accurate, and it is not, open to the general public, and it was not, to honor American and South Vietnamese heroes that were actually there and be compromised. What we got was a committee that ran amok, commandeering authority to demand placement in the public park with cost to the city. A lawsuit that may cost the city more than $100,000, then sticking the city with annual maintenance costs starting at $6,500 per year, liabilities for repairs and replacements, damages to the vandalism, liability for personal injury lawsuits, increase in Westminster PD surveillance. With the SS manager on the ballot, there is still a road to climb to get out of bankruptcy. I'd like to see the Quantry members pushing the Quantry Monument in Freedom Park and public parks look at and understand the lawsuit that is facing us, understand the real cost to the city for the Quantry Monument that they have. No small special interest group that does not represent the best interest of the citizens of Westminster should subject the city to financial collapse. Say something of the financial drain that this monument is having. The Quantry Committee voted on Westminster Park before we knew the enormous size of the depiction display, 30 foot, 40 foot, 21 foot high, whatever. The Quantry Committee and some of the city council members said no to Freedom Park from inception, but it must have been a ruse. We don't need another monument in Freedom Park. That monument there represents all countries and all battles. The Parks Commission in all their meetings had votes of 100 to 1 against placement in any public park. That was Vietnamese, Spanish, and all other ethnicities. They spoke. We don't need to take away our precious private public park land. The American Vietnam veterans have sided with the majority of the citizens against any public park placement because we heard their heartfelt presentations. The council should not ignore the majority. I said this before, but there's one among you that has shown continued integrity, intelligence, logic, holding the council together for the city's best interest. Vice Mayor Mansell. For those that don't see what's best for the citizens and the city, It was mentioned to cheers that you should step down. Do not put off placement for your own political careers and the small special interest group. The invocation by Charlie tonight, it's the way we should be thinking for the people, for the citizens of New York City. Arguments against placing the Quantree Monument in Westminster Memorial Park, a perfect location as a place for the dead, are unfounded. I've heard this from so many people. The Quantree Monument belongs on private land down Bolsa. Start a historical and cultural district at no cost to the city of Westminster for its protection. The best place is Westminster Memorial Park. It's a given. Thank you.
The next speaker is Marina Nguyen, followed by Wikipedia.
Kính chào thị trưởng, tạp chí. Good evening, Vice Mayor Mancho Carlos. Nghị viên Kimberly Hồ. Nghị viên Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Trí. Nghị viên Tài Nỗ. Cùng tất cả các thành viên trong hội đồng thành phố Westminster. Tôi tên là Xuân Mai. Hôm nay tôi xin thưa về một việc hết sức quan trọng. Đó là phong tục tập quán văn hóa của người Việt Nam. Qua biết bao thế hệ, những người lính như cha ông chú Bắc của chúng tôi đã ra chiến trường bảo vệ non sông đất nước, sông pha mặt trận khói lửa quên thân mình và đã tử trận hy sinh vì tổ quốc. Chúng tôi là con là cháu luôn nhớ đến những anh linh chiến sĩ oai hùng hào kiệt đã hy sinh xương máu, và để ghi nhớ những chiến sĩ đã hy sinh vì hai chữ tổ quốc, bức tượng lịch sử cắm cờ trên cổ thành Quảng Trị tái chiếu trên cổ thành không thể và không bao giờ quên đi được. Đó là một lịch sử, và xin các ông, xin quý vị hãy nghĩ đến những anh linh chiến sĩ đó và mong rằng đừng để họ vào một nơi nghĩa trang, một nơi mà chúng tôi không thể đến để thắp một ngón nhang, một nén hương. Kính thưa thị trưởng, thưa phó thị trưởng Carlos, cùng các nghị viên, hãy nghĩ đến phong tục ngàn đời của người Việt Nam. Những anh linh chiến sĩ Việt Nam đã nằm xuống, đừng bao giờ để họ vào nằm trong nghĩa trang. Và làm ơn, xin đừng, please, đừng để họ go in the Westminster Memorial Park. Tôi xin chân thành cảm ơn đến tất cả các quý vị, các thị trưởng, Vice President và các quý vị trong thành phố Westminster. Chân thành xin cảm ơn.
Good evening, Mayor Rita, Vice Mayor Alejandro, City Council Member Kimberly Hall, City Council Member Charlie Nguyen, and City Council Member Tayo. My name is Sun Mai. I'm here tonight to talk about an important tradition getting hospital. Throughout generations, our forebears have fought to protect our country. They rush toward danger, they risk their life, and some of them make the ultimate sacrifice, all for country. As their descendants, we want to pay tribute to the sacrifice that was made. And again, the word is country. The Quantree Monument will depiction of a flag being raised on the ancient citadel is something that is significant, that is meaningful, and it should not be placed at a cemetery. Mayor Pha, Vice Mayor Manzo, and the entire City Council member, please consider these 1,000-year-long traditions, these Vietnamese 1,000-year-long traditions, that you should not dishonor the memory of those who have laid down their life by placing a monument in a cemetery. Please do not dishonor their memory and place the monument at Westminster Memorial Park. With sincere gratitude to all of you on the council. Thank you.
I'll need a translator. Thank you. Xin chào Hội đồng thành phố.
Good evening, City Council or the entire City Council.
Ông cảnh sát trưởng, bà tổng quản trị cũng như luật sư thành phố.
Our police chief, our city manager, as well as city staff.
Tối nay tôi muốn nói về cái đề tài issue tượng đài.
Tonight I would like to talk about the Quantry Monument.
Mặc dù từ trước đến giờ tôi không có ý kiến cũng như không có muốn bàn về cái đề tài này.
Even though up to now I have from no opinion, I have not want to discuss this issue.
Tôi biết lúc nào cũng có những ý kiến trái ngược hoặc bất đồng.
I know that there will always be opposing viewpoint, or for or against.
Qua những lời phát biểu của cư dân thành phố Westminster, tôi có thể thông cảm cũng như hiểu được cái tâm tư và chọn lựa của họ.
So seeing or hearing the opinion expressed by the resident of the city of Westminster, I understand their take, I understand their viewpoint or wish and their wishes.
Nhưng tôi muốn nói với quý vị thành viên Hội đồng thành phố hôm nay.
But tonight I would like to address the city council.
Nghị viên Kimberly Hồ, tạm thời tôi chưa có ý kiến vì chủ ý của bà đã rõ khi bà vận động để Hội đồng thành phố sẽ ủng hộ và thông qua kiến nghị của bà.
As to City Council member Kimberly Hall, I don't have any
criticism
because
bà đã vận động để Hội đồng thành phố sẽ ủng hộ và thông qua thông qua kiến nghị của bà trước sau như một, tức là không có sự thay đổi.
Because you have been consistent in your motion.
Tức là kêu gọi vận động mấy người này bỏ phiếu.
To ask for support for the monument.
Dạ, cái dự án xây dựng
for
trên đất công viên.
You have been consistent in your support as well as calling for support for the placement of the Quantry Monument at a public park.
Dạ, trước sau như một.
So you have been consistent.
Phần nghị viên Tài Đỗ cũng vậy. Theo tôi hiểu, ông ta sẽ ủng hộ xây dựng tượng đài trên đất công viên của thành phố.
Something with City Council member Taido, as I understand, he support the placement of the monument at public land, on public land.
Yes, trên cái công viên park.
At our public park.
Riêng nghị viên Carlos Manzo, theo tôi hiểu, ông là người đã làm thay đổi dự án, kế hoạch khi ông không ủng hộ an vị xây dựng tượng đài tái chiếm cổ thành Quảng Trị trên đất công của thành phố Westminster.
As for Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo, you are the one who changed everything. When you change your support and no longer supporting the placement of the Quantry Monument on public land or public park.
Tức là giống như cái deciding vote. Yeah.
So you are the one who hold the deciding vote.
Yeah. Nghị viên Kimberly Hồ cho rằng ông đã thất hứa, đã bỏ phiếu ngược lại với những gì mà cộng đồng người Mỹ gốc Việt tưởng rằng ông đã đồng ý với họ nếu không trực tiếp hứa với họ khi họ ủng hộ giúp ông vượt qua cuộc vận động đòi bãi nhiệm ông.
City Council member said that you have gone back on your word, or you have gone back on what you promised, if not directly, to the people in the Vietnamese community when they supported you in your fight against the recall.
Tức là ít nhất cộng đồng người Việt hiểu lầm, ít là tưởng rằng ông ta hứa như vậy.
At least the Vietnamese community thought that you have made that promise to support them.
Tôi không trách ông, vì tôi hiểu tại sao ông phải làm như vậy. Ông có trách nhiệm với cử tri trong khu vực mà ông đại diện.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm not blaming you because I believe you have to do that because you owe, or you are accountable to the people in your district who voted for you.
Yes. Ông có trách nhiệm phải lưu tâm và đáp ứng nguyện vọng của họ, tức là những người trong khu vực.
You have to be accountable to them. You are responsible to pay attention to their wishes as well as to serve their need.
Yes. Tôi chỉ có thắc mắc và bất bình với quyết định của hai ông Chí Tạ và Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Trí.
I just disagree and I have questions about the decisions by Arta and City Council member Chi Nguyen.
Hai ông tham gia thành lập Ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài tái chiếm cổ thành Quảng Trị, tạm gọi là number one, số 1.
You participate in the first committee to build what I would call the first monument.
Yes. Cho dù là họ không cho phép hai ông tiếp tục đứng ra điều hành thực hiện dự án theo cách làm của mấy ông.
Even though they would not allow you to continue to serve and to carry out that project the way that you have wanted it.
Hay là đã từng thực hiện theo ý.
Or the way that you have done.
Yeah. Nhưng nếu hai ông thật sự tin rằng cộng đồng người Việt tị nạn Cộng sản muốn có một tượng đài để vinh danh quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa.
But if you sincerely believe that there should be a monument to honor the memory of the South Vietnamese or military forces or armed forces.
Yeah. Nếu hai ông thực sự muốn vinh danh quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa để tưởng niệm những anh hùng tử sĩ đã hy sinh tái chiếm cổ thành Quảng Trị, nếu hai ông thật lòng muốn xây dựng tượng đài tái chiếm cổ thành Quảng Trị như khi hai ông còn được tham gia điều hành, thì tại sao bây giờ hai ông lại bỏ phiếu chống dự án xây dựng tượng đài?
So if you sincerely want to honor and to pay tribute to the hero who lost their life for the retaken of the country citadel, if you sincerely want to build a monument, like when you were participating in the committee, then why are you two now casting your vote against the monument being built?
Té ra từ trước tới nay hai ông chỉ mị dân hô hào tổ chức xây dựng tượng đài để quyên tiền để kiếm phiếu.
So it turned out that you two have been fooling your residents, your voters, so that you can raise funds and also to obtain vote.
Tôi muốn xem hai ông sẽ viện cớ gì nữa để tiếp tục bỏ phiếu chống lại dự án xây dựng tượng đài mà trước đây hai ông từng to mồm quyên tiền gây quỹ.
I don't know what excuse you have now to continue to cast your vote against the building of the monument that you have previously support, that you were allow in your support to raise funds
không những vậy, giờ đây hai ông dù rằng trên danh nghĩa đã rút tên ra khỏi Ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài số 1, nhưng vẫn chung chạ thấm thiết với những thành viên trong Ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài số 1 đang đâm đơn kiện thành phố do hai ông đại diện. Tôi không hiểu hai ông nghĩ gì. What the hell are you thinking?
Even though on paper you two are no longer on the committee to build the Quantry Monument or the monument, the first monument, but you are still sharing the same bed with all the members of the first committee, and they are the one that are now suing the city, which you two are served to represent.
Không hiểu hai ông còn biết mắc cỡ, còn có liêm sỉ hay không?
I don't know what the hell you're thinking, and I don't know if you have any shame or.
Yeah, sorry, I have to finish in English. So if you still continue to use fake news, your henchman, Nam Quang, Trust Media Network, endorse him, meaning you endorse his action, and you'll be liable for his action. And I wish that we have free Wi-Fi here in the city hall area. Thank you. Thank you.
The next speaker is from Overbeek.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Sorry, I couldn't be here. I'm having allergic reactions, so bear with me. I'm here to speak on the Quantry Monument. It has clearly become a really divisive issue within the city. But upon looking at it and all of the parks that have been recommended, I did actually realize that there is one park that was overlooked, and that's Heritage Park. And many of you probably don't even know that Heritage Park exists. Heritage Park is directly behind the Chamber of Commerce building on the corner of Beach and Hazard. So perhaps that's something that we can look at and have staff review and do a study on to make sure that it's suitable, because perhaps that will appease the community if we're going to continue forward with this. So that's my suggestion, is to look at that. And the reason I say that is the community is no longer losing any green space. We're not actually impacting a park, because that park was turned into a parking lot long ago. And the only thing that really resides in that park are 2 park benches and some park papers. And that might be a happy medium so that we can move forward on this and stop the divisiveness. So I do hope that this council will think about that and direct staff to perhaps prepare a report. That way we can move forward and stop wasting time and money on this issue. Thank you.
Mayor, at this time, we're going to switch over to Zoom participants. The first speaker that we have with their hand raised at this time is Amy Walsh. Please unmute yourself and you may begin speaking.
Hi. I wanted to, I've listened to all the speakers tonight, and, obviously I had my own stuff that I wanted to speak on. But I'd like to agree with Camilla on Heritage Park, because I didn't even think of that one before. I would also like to say that, we have so many people commenting tonight about the fact that, they don't want to waste city resources, et cetera, et cetera. Well, to me, that's the whole point. I would say that the council at this point needs to hold off on this completely, in my opinion, and wait until after the measure, hopefully, crossing fingers, knocking on wood, everything, gets voted in. And if that's the case, and the city doesn't go into financial ruin, then maybe that can be looked at after that. But I think right now it's irresponsibly, it's such an irresponsible idea to even think about doing this when we're putting that on the ballot for people to vote on, but we're gonna go ahead and add this in right now. I feel like it should 100% wait until after the election, not because of political, whatever, but the fact that we want to make sure that our city can, move forward with the tax percentage, staying on and not going away. So to me, I feel like that's the fiscally responsible thing for anyone up on that council to do. And I personally would call that they do that. People are gonna think whatever they're gonna think, but, as a prior public servant, you need to do what's best for the city. And to me, that's what's best for the city. And because we also don't know who's going to be on the council after the fact either. So there's that at this point, the political, whatever, is thrown out the window because of that whole election coming anyway. So to me, why not wait, make sure that our city can be fiscally solvent before we even go into monuments, because there's gonna be more. People are gonna bring more, it's just gonna happen. Please just wait. I really feel like that's what should be done here. We all understand the importance. It's not not understanding the importance. It's not like people have said, going with the majority. It's none of that. It's the fact that to me, it's a fiscal issue. We should not be doing this while we are trying to stay afloat. And after the election, we'll know one way or the other where the city's going in regards to the tax measure. So I guess that's my pitch to the city council is just put it on the back shelf for now. And once we see which way we're going on the tax measure, then at that point, it can be brought back. So that's my 2 cents. That's all. Have a good night. And let's go fast tonight, shall we? Okay, that's it.
If there's anyone else wishing to speak on Zoom, please raise your hand at this time. Maybe there are no other speakers wishing to raise their hand at this time. Just for the record, there were some comments that were submitted just on the website and our agenda, and that concludes all communications.
All right, so thank you so much. With that, I close all communication. Next we have my consent calendar. Second. We have motion and second to consent calendar.
Chia sẻ với nhau thì mình tiếp tục mình chiếu, còn nếu không thì mình chấm dứt chương trình ở đây. Các bạn có thể cho mình biết. Và hello chị Uyên Phạm, không biết các bạn nào muốn tiếp tục bài vàng đúng không ạ?
Thank you, Mayor. That motion was to approve the consent calendar in its entirety as presented. The motion was made by
Thôi đó, cái Facebook nha. Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi này. Các bạn chấm dứt.
Councilmember Cole? Yes.
Họ đang bỏ phiếu mấy cái nghị trình.
Vice Mayor Monzo?
Yes.
Mayor Tom?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0,
Next we have public hearings. I'd like to open the public hearing. Please. No, 1 second. Can you read?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing, and anyone wishing to speak on the public hearing at this time may do so in person or via Zoom by stepping forward, might as well, and raising your hand if it is your Mayor, there were no,
Okay, so thank you so much. The first item of public hearing is fiscal year 21-22, consolidated annual performance and evaluation report.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. As mentioned, this is the public hearing item related to the fiscal year 21-22 consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, commonly referred to as the CAPER. The city prepares this report because we received the development block grant and home funds. At this point, I'd like to introduce Michael Sun, our housing specialist, who will provide a brief summary, after which he and I will be available to answer any questions.
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council members. The CAPER is an annual report the city is required to submit to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. And it captures expenditures, accomplishments, and progress made on goals outlined in the city's approved 5-year consolidated plan. The CAPER also reflects activities undertaken in Westminster, which is also identified in the annual action plan, covering the periods of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. The draft CAPER was available for public review on August 26, 2002 for a minimum 15-day period on the city's website, as well as the City Hall's public counter. It's recommended that after conducting the public hearing, the Mayor and City Council approve the CAPER, inclusive of any public comments, and authorize the City Manager to execute all required documents for transmittal to HUD by the September 28th deadline. And that concludes my report, and we're available to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much for the report. All right, so Councilmember, do you have any questions or concerns for staff? I don't see any, so do we have any public comments?
if anyone wishes to speak at this time, Mayor, I don't have any, hands raised and no,
All right, thank you so much. So, close, public comments, and, may I have a motion and second to approve. All right, please.
So we use these funds, and what I'm really interested in is number 3, the purpose of CAPER is to provide city with an opportunity to describe its successes in revitalizing deteriorated neighborhoods. So how much of that can be towards that use? How much of that can be?
So are you referring to the staff report on number 3?
Yes.
Okay. So there's different programs that address this need. So the code enforcement is one of them. Our public facility improvement projects, such as park improvements, those things. So they all add up. So on an annual basis, starting in January, council approves different projects and programs to address those needs.
So over the period of, is it annual thing?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
How much was it, how much did we receive from HUD for last year?
So for last year, our entitlement amount was roughly close to $1 million. And keep in mind that 15% is set aside for public services, 20% of that is for administration, and the remaining amount is for community development projects such as park improvements, code enforcement.
I have another question for you. I noticed on some of the descriptions, some of the info is from further back. Is that correct? Is there a way that you can just give us the council information of most recent successes instead of just like having it all up from years past?
It's a HUD requirement if there's open projects such as some of our park improvement projects. It's required by HUD that we keep it into the report.
Seems to have a tendency of not just to kind of highlight past and issues, successes from years past, and kind of just makes the report seem like they're doing a lot, but it's more recent is what we want to see.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. So essentially,
Xin lỗi các bạn nha, có lẽ là bây giờ chỉ có họp hội đồng thành phố rồi họ bỏ phiếu, họ bàn bạc mấy cái nghị trình, thành ra mình sẽ ngưng cái chương trình ở đây nha. Thân ái chào các bạn.
Yeah, most recent.